Now, in the today's class, we will study the new module, that is module number 4. It contains point sources, arrays and electric dipoles. Now, first we will consider the point source, then you will study the arrays and then electrical dipoles. So, the idea of point source is for describing the antenna is based on looking upon the antenna, a volumeless emitter located at a point from the large distance where only the far field exists. The meaning of this is that we are looking an antenna as a point source. What it indicating that when you are considering this antenna as a point source, say then we are taking it as a volumeless emitter. So that means that it does not have any volume, but it emits the radiations. Then it is located at a point from the large distance where only the far field exists. As you know, in the earlier class, we said that the antenna region can be divided into two regions. One is the near region, another one is the far regions. But for the point source is considered, we are considering only the far region, not the near regions. Point source does not necessarily get an isotropic radiator. However, an isotropic radiator can be a point source. And as in this point sources, we are dealing with the far fields who analyze only the far fields which are at a distance far away from the antenna. Now, if you consider here, so this is your antenna. As you are considering with the far fields, the radius r, so that is the field at this particular point we are considering, but the field which is very nearer to the antenna we are not considering. Now, so this is once again another representation of representing the point sources. Here you have a point source, it radiates the energy in the different directions. And if I draw a sphere of this one, now at any point on this particular sphere, so the power density remains same or it is constant. That is, here if you have a point source, if I draw a sphere, so here we have an antenna, it radiates the energy uniformly in all the directions. If you draw a sphere, then at any point on this particular sphere, so whatever the power density is there, it is same. Now let us consider power pattern. So for the antenna is consider, we are coming across three types of patterns. One is a power pattern, another one is field pattern, another one is the phase pattern. Now let us first consider the power pattern. The radiated power density is the time rate of energy flow per unit area. The power density is defined as the time rate of energy flow per unit area, and it is also known as a Poynting vector represented by P. And this Poynting vector has only radial component PR and with no component either in the theta direction or the phi directions, that is your horizontal direction and the vertical directions. So therefore, P theta is equal to P phi is equal to 0. And the magnitude of the Poynting vector is represented by PR. Then the radial component of the Poynting vector PR is independent of theta and phi. As it is specified here, the radial component of this particular Poynting vector is independent of theta and phi. Now, so for this particular power density, we are drawing a graph of PR at a constant radius as a function of angle is the power density pattern. I mean to say that power density pattern is the graph of Poynting vector as a function of angle. For isotropic radiators, if you draw a three-dimensional power pattern, then it looks like a sphere. Now, let us consider the power patterns. So, the figure number 1 is the polar power pattern of an isotropic radiators. As you know, the isotropic radiator contains only the radial component, does not have any component in the theta and phi directions. So, the radial component of this particular isotropic radiator is represented as PR. Isotropic radiator is a fictitious radiator. That means to say that these isotropic radiators are not physically realizable. Mean to say that isotropic radiators or the theoretical radiators practically, so the isotropic radiators are not realizable. And now, so the figure number 2 will represent the relative power patterns. Particular diagram is with respect to the relative power patterns. Whatever this particular PM is there, PM is maximum power radiated by the antenna, and this PR is the pointing vector or power radiated so by the antenna at any positions. So, therefore, so it is called as a relative power pattern. That is, this PR can be compared at any time with respect to the maximum powers. So, therefore, it is called as a relative power pattern. Now, we want to calculate the total radiated power from the point source. In order to calculate that, that is the total radiated power from point source, then it is integrated over the surface of the sphere of the radial component PR of the average pointing vector. It means to say that we want to calculate the total power radiated by the antenna. So, then this can be calculated by taking the integration of the radial component PR of the average pointing vector. That is, the total power radiated can be calculated by a surface integral, then P into ds, where so this P is the average power radiated, and this you can write it as P is nothing but, so this particular component PR, that is pointing vector, so PR into ds, so we will call it as equation number 1, where so this ds is infinitesimal area of the sphere. A small area we are considering here. So, this particular small area what we will consider here is known as a ds. That is, we have considered the entire sphere, we are considering a part of the sphere. So, this is now if I consider, so this is a part of sphere. So, whatever this particular area I am getting it here, so this area we are calling it as ds. And this ds is calculated from the equation r square sin theta d theta and d phi, and it is measured in meter square. Now, as you know, in case of isotropic radiator, this PR is independent of theta and phi, so that you can write, so this P radiated is equal to this PR, you will take it outside, then integration of ds. So, this is equal to PR, this integration of this ds will give you the value equal to 4 pi r square. Then from this equation P radiated is equal to PR into 4 pi r square. So, then I can write PR is equal to P divided by 4 pi r square. This we are calling it as a equation number 2. Then the radiation intensity U or the power per unit solid angle is given by U is equal to r square into PR, call it as equation number 3, and P radiation equal to an integration, that is double integration U into d omega, and so this d omega equal to sin theta d theta d phi, call it as equation number 4, where d omega is the element of solid angles. Instead of considering the entire solid angle, a part of that small solid angle is considered, so that we are taking it as a d omega. Now, the power pattern of an isotropic radiator is given by 4 pi into u0, where U0 is the radiation intensity of the isotropic radiators. That means to say that, you have one practical antenna, you have to calculate the power radiated from that particular antenna, and then isotropic antenna is a reference antenna whose power pattern is 4 pi into U0. At any instant of that time, we are comparing the radiation pattern of our antenna with the isotropic antenna in order to compare its performance. Let us consider the different cases. The first case is source with hemispherical power pattern. It means to say that we have an antenna whose power pattern is hemispherical. So this antenna radiates only in this particular directions and it doesn't radiates in the lower directions. So this is the radiation pattern of one antenna whose shape is hemispherical. That is, it radiates it only in the upper half of the sphere and doesn't radiates in the lower half of the sphere. And so this is the Poynting vector PR. Now, so what the purpose of showing this particular thing is that we want to compare so the radiation pattern of an hemispherical antenna with an isotropic antenna. To do that, first what will that? The total radiated power is the radiation intensity integrated over a hemisphere. Here also, what we are supposed to do is that we want to calculate how much amount of the power is radiated in this particular hemisphere. To calculate that particular radiated power, so then it has to be integrated over the hemisphere. That is, P radiation is equal to double integration U into d omega. Then, so the limits of this integration is 0 to 2 pi and 0 to pi by 2, where in place of this U, we are substituting UM, that is the maximum radiation intensity, and d omega is equal to sin theta d theta and d phi. If you integrate this particular equation, we are getting the value is equal to 2 pi into UM. Call it as equation number 6. And we know that the total power radiated by the isotropic radiator or the isotropic antenna is P is equal to 4 pi into U0. Now, compare the power radiated by the isotropic antenna and the power radiated by the antenna whose pattern is hemisphere. Then, so here you got 2 pi UM and here you got 4 pi U naught. 2 pi UM is equal to 4 pi U naught. This pi and this pi will go, and these two and these two will go left with 2. So, therefore, directivity is equal to UM divided by U0. So, this is equal to 2. So, this is what it has been shown in this. So, this is the radiation intensity of our isotropic radiator, or so this is the radiation pattern for isotropic radiator. So, this we are comparing with the hemisphere. What this particular equation is indicating is that the maximum radiation intensity of the hemisphere antenna is twice that of isotropic antenna. So, this you can write it as UM equal to 2 U0. That is, UM is the maximum radiation intensity of this hemispherical antenna. That value is equal to 2 times the radiation intensity of the isotropic radiator. Now, consider the second case, a source with sine power pattern. That is, we have one particular antenna whose radiation pattern, power pattern is as a sine theta. That is, U is equal to UM sine theta. So, call it as equation number 8. Source with sine or definite power pattern is shown in these particular figures, where you have the radiation pattern at the left side and the radiation pattern on the right side, and the shape looks like a definite. So, therefore, it is called as a definite power pattern or the sine power pattern. And from such antenna, you have to calculate the total power radiated. That is total power radiated is P radiation is equal to a double integration U into d omega, and the limits of integration is 0 to 2 pi and 0 to pi, and U is equal to um sin theta and d omega is equal to sin theta d theta and d phi. So then remains same, then it becomes sin square theta d theta and d phi. Then is a constant term, you take it outside. Then integration from 0 to 2 pi, 0 to pi sin square theta d phi is going to give the value pi square into Now compare, so this power radiated with the power radiated by the isotropic antenna, that is pi square into is equal to pi square into u0, and this is with respect to your isotropic radiator. Then d, that is directly equal to divided by u0, 4 divided by pi, so this is equal to 1.27. Then I can write it as is equal to 1.27 u0. What it indicates that the maximum power radiated by a source with a definite power pattern is 1.27 of that radiated by the isotropic antenna.